Hey everybody! Today we're making these beautiful red and gray coasters with copper glitter flakes in them. This is some new items and new epoxy, so if you want to see how we made these, stick with us. This is Resin Together, where we work together to learn to make beautiful, functional resin art. Hey everybody! So we're making some beautiful geode resin coasters today. Looking forward to that. We have some new pigments, mica powder that we got in from Eye Candy. Their pigments are great. The mica powder mixes really well. But most of all, I like them because if you go on their store on Amazon, they have lots and lots of shades of the same color. I think I found 4 or 5 browns, 5 or 6 yellows, just lots of different shades of color, so you're not locked into one color. So really like that. And of course, we're also using our resin today is from the Epoxy Resin store. It is their new premium clear. They just came out with that. I saw it, I ordered it. So I'm not by any way sponsored by them at this moment. So, but I wanted to try it and see how it worked. I love their Clearcast 7000. So we're gonna see how this works. And we're gonna use that today. So I've mixed up 10 ounces of resin. We have that here in our mixing bucket, and I'm going to mix things out. We're using today, our mica powder is the Eye Candy Penny Copper, and then we're also going to use the resin-diy gray. I think copper and gray look good together. For the outside, I'm going to do a dark red, so I have a red and a brown, just liquid pigment for the outside, or sorry, red and black for the outside to make the outside with that. And we'll see how that turns out for the outside layer. And then for the very center, I have some black glitter. We'll see how that goes. Kind of make a paste with the black glitter. So we'll see how that turns out as well. So looking forward to it. So let's get started. So the gray and the copper are going to be our main colors. So I'm going to do just over half a cup, more like 3/4. For these two. Alright, the red is going to be our outside border, so I'm going to go half a cup on that one. And the black is our very center, so we only need a little bit, about a 1/4 cup with that. I'll have some extra, and I just put my extra into a pyramid mold that I have. It's pretty big, and then I just keep filling that up, and when it's done, I pull it out, and if it looks bad, I have a doorstop, and if it looks good, I have a beautiful creation. Here is the one that I pulled out of the mold a little while ago. I just built it up by the layers, and so it's just kind of an amalgamation of all kinds of different stuff, but it's fun to make, and you just never know what you're going to end up with. A lot of the layers are kind of puddled and things like that, so if we have extra, we'll put some color in it, and we will mix that up and see how it turns out. So let's start mixing with our penny copper. And see, definitely new. I forgot to take off the little cap, so you know for sure it's brand new. Okay, wow, that is sparkly. Look at that. That's almost like mica powder glitter. So let's add that, see how it's gonna mix up. Definitely much more like a glitter than what I'm used to seeing in mica powder, but it's beautiful. That's kind of going to make a transparent kind of layer, but that's okay because the traditional mica powder should pull across it and make some interesting striations. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. Okay, so here's our resin-diy gray, and it's kind of a light gray. Alright, so there's the Bushido gray. Nice color there. Okay, next let's work on our red. Alright, that was 20 drops plus a dribble on the side. Let me clean that up because that pigment dye will make a mess if I get into it. So get that. So let's see how the red looks. Alright, so there's where we're at with the red. I definitely want that to be a little deeper, so I'm going to add 10 more drops. Now I'm definitely loving this resin, the premium resin, the premium clear that I bought. It is thin. It's not viscous at all. It's got a good watery consistency. Now, if I was trying to pipe the coasters, that wouldn't really turn out too well because I want it to be thicker so that it will stand up in the piping bag. But for the puddle pours, definitely has a good consistency. It is starting to get a little bit warm. The working time is about 30 to 40 minutes. But that's okay because we're going to be pouring soon. But it's also, I can see it in the cups releasing bubbles very well. So I definitely like that because that is something I still struggle with. So 3 drops of black. Let's see where that gets us. I'm doing this because I've seen when I use the mica powder on the outside, it tends to travel and take over everything, and so I end up with a coaster that doesn't have a lot of defined rings, more of an overshadow of one color from the outside, because remember, when resin cures, the colors pull from the outside to the center. So whatever you have here, even if it's only a little bit, it's going to pull if it's mica powder. Now, the pigment pastes and stuff don't seem to do that as much, but the mica powder definitely moves. Darker, but I find if I put it on a paper towel, hold that down, I get a much better picture of what it's going to be. Yeah, see, we want, for a border, I want a little bit more, so we're going to add 10 more. And then I'm also going to add 3 more of the black. 4 more of the black. Lost count. Alright, there we go. So let's see how that looks. That's a little bit better. We'll see how it turns out. Like I said, we experiment on this channel. We try things. If they don't turn out, that's alright. Then we'll just try it again next time. And then finally, we add some of this black glitter. I want to make a paste, so be generous with it. This might not give it very much sparkle. We'll see how things go, because it's kind of not a lot of sparkle to it. I think it's going to look like black flakes, but hey, I'm going to add just a little bit of that to this one. I think maybe it'll help darken it up just a little bit. Oh, it's sticking. That glitter likes to stick to the sides of the cup, so let's see how that did. Well, we'll see. Kind of looks like raspberry jam with seeds in it, doesn't it? Oh well, we'll see how things go. If we don't like it, we throw them away or give them away to someone we love, because they'll always tell us that everything looks beautiful. and we'll try it again. That's the joy of creating. You can keep trying until you like the results. All right, so there we go. So we're going to start with our red, our raspberry seed red. Around the outside, I'm just going to pour a thin stream right on the very outside. There we go. But we never know how things are going to turn out. Some of the things that I thought looked awful actually turned out looking really good. And some of the things that before it cured I thought were looking really good, once it cured I decided they looked awful. So don't give up in the middle. That's a lesson that I've been taught. My mother, who's an artist, reminds me of that all the time. She loves to paint. I'm after her to try to show off some of what she makes, but I don't know if we'll ever actually get her to paint on YouTube for us. She did for her church, and they really enjoyed it. She taught a lesson during COVID. They actually taught it online, and I told her, I said, well, you know, if you can teach a class on camera, I said, that's the same as YouTube. Oh no, it's different, but we'll keep trying. We'll see how that goes. She's really good at painting. I was never that good at artistic type things. Even with these, sometimes I feel like I struggle with colors and deciding what to do. Alright. Okay, so before we pour the penny copper, I'm gonna kind of put this in the middle, just a little dot, as I pour a whole lot. There we go. And then try to get this around the outside. We'll see how that goes. There's that. Alright. Pour that right around. Catching some of the gray, but that's okay. And we'll give it some color and interest to have those layers in there. So right around, try to keep them even. You want that kind of look like it all got cut from the same piece of stone, same geode. So pour this in, try to make that gray stripe just a little bit more distinct. Cut it out, not much left. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's see, I think this one might could use a little bit more on this side. Pour that around. There we go. A little bit more here. There we go. Now I'm hoping this penny copper doesn't sink to the bottom, because it is glittery. I don't know if it's glitter. I'm not sure what it's made of. Actually, wish I hadn't done that, but got a little bit more of this. Kind of go back and drizzle that in a little bit. Our molds aren't quite full, but they're pretty close, so just kind of use what we have left to fill it up the rest of the way. I like the way it turned out, so I'm not gonna pour the clear in. That's why I made a little bit of extra, so I had some clear to put in the centers. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. So we'll leave it at that, and we're gonna let these cure up. You can already see the gray is pulling a little bit with that red. So I'm excited to see how these turn out. You can see the red flakes are moving, or the black flakes are moving in a little bit. So let's run the heat gun over it, get rid of these bubbles. There we go. And gotta go on hair inspection, because unfortunately sometimes I get those little hairs and stuff in there. Alright, well, we will let these cure and we will come back. It says it cures fast, so maybe first thing in the morning we'll come back and see how they cure, and we'll unmold them and go from there. See you in a little bit, everybody. Alright, everybody, so it's the next day and our coasters are ready to come out of their molds. So as we can see, the glitter, the black glitter, definitely traveled a little bit from the outside. Ended up with just a little bit of the ring of the copper. So we see that. Let me go ahead and start taking it out. The red came through a little bit from the outside. Gave it kind of a pinkish hue. I think it looks good. Let's see. There we go. Definitely dark. The black back never really looks that great to me, but there we go. And of course I'll post close-up pictures of these as part of the ending of the video so you can see them up close. There's the second one. Much better. You can kind of feel the glitter in the top. It didn't sink much, and I'm glad that that copper powder kind of stayed at the top as well. Very nice looking. There we go. Yeah, kind of not pretty on the back, but the front looks good. A little bit of a red color. And then take this last one out. Copper on that one definitely made a good ring. A little bit of transparency on that one. Definitely can see through the copper. I like that. It's very pretty. Alright. I think overall they turned out well. Need to work on getting that red a little bit darker, but I definitely like the striations. I wouldn't put the glitter on the outside again because it kind of looks a little odd now that it's all separated, but overall I think it turned out well. Definitely like the penny copper, or the copper penny, what's it called? The penny copper from Eye Candy. I think that did well. It's more of a glitter than a mica powder, but that's okay. New product, so it was new to me, so more of a test on it really. And I also think that this premium clear resin from the epoxy resin store also turned out very well. It seems to do well. It's got a very glossy finish, very shiny. So I think that's going to be a great epoxy. Definitely want to test with it more and see how it works on other items. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, watching us make these coasters. If you have, please like the video. That helps other people see it. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. I know we don't always do that, but that helps me a lot as I'm building the channel as well, and you'll get notified when new content comes out. And I want to thank you for being with us today and for resining together with us.